Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, this is Craig Baker. This is me on my YouTube channel. I'm back. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm making a video today. I'm making a video today that is all about me smashing into things. Some of you who know me in person may know that I recently moved out of my old flat and moved into a new place. And I now live on my own, which is very, very rewarding. I say that in the way that it isn't as challenging as I thought it'd be. And because I got my own place, I've accumulated a lot of plants. I don't have any actual training in plant biology, but I love researching them. I love growing plants. I love learning about all the different kinds. And I think the amount of variety and power and incredible strength and variety and versatility and beauty in the plant kingdom is just something that should not be overlooked by anyone. So I wanted to make a video today about the plants that I've got in my flat. So we're going to start here. The first one we've got right here is rocket. Rocket is an edible leaf. It has a kind of sharp, bitter taste to it, and it is from the Mediterranean. The next thing we have here is a lovely plant which I like to call the mint. And the reason I like to call it the mint is because that is what it is called. And I don't like traditionalism or conformism, but I think in this case it's okay. The mint is a plant that can be found worldwide. It's basically everywhere, and I didn't know it. It's one of the very few plants that you just find everywhere. And I just think that's quite nice because it smells lovely, doesn't it? We can all agree, and I've got one right here. This one I found from the local train station, which has a vegetable patch on the platform. So I took a cutting of their mint plant, which is fine. It's healthy for the plant. It doesn't matter. It will just grow straight back even quicker. It's sometimes healthy to prune plants that are growing very quickly, like mint does. I put it in a glass of water. It propagated in about 2 days. It had roots, and I just chucked it in there, and now it's growing. The next one here we've got is an ivy called glacier ivy. Glacier ivy is a form of English ivy. It's an ivy that is just nothing more and nothing less than ivy. The ivy, of course, is native to Europe. So I don't live in a very big flat, but I don't want you to know that. So I'm not going to do many camera angles, okay? So right now I'm going to go right there and get some plants, but let's pretend it's all the way over there to the other part of my dwelling where I live to get some plants to show you, okay? And I'm going to move this because I just scratched my arm on it. Okay, I'm back from my long and arduous trek, and I'm here to present the rest of my plants from this part of the dwelling, okay? So we're going to start right here with this fella. It was meant to clang. Good enough. We'll start here with this guy, which is called spider plant. So the spider plant is actually native to South Africa, which is a country in the south of Africa. And in the south of Africa, there is another plant which is native to the south of Africa, but not necessarily South Africa, but potentially South Africa, as South Africa is part of Southern Africa. But in Southern Africa, and potentially South Africa, they do have this plant here, which we're going to get you a nice close-up of right now. It's called the Sprenger's asparagus. He's a very interesting variety because the leaves are so thick. Now switching over from South Africa to South America, the purple shamrock. This is one of my newest acquisitions, and it's one of my just favorites. These are deep purple leaves, which are arranged in these triangular shapes, which are split in half. Now in daytime, these leaf sets open up, and it senses the lights going away, and what they do is the leaves then go ooh, and they close up to protect themselves. Now I'm not going to pretend, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that this is the same day as the day of which you just saw, because I'm wearing a different outfit and it is now daytime. But I believe that continuity is less important than honesty. The next plant that I want to show you is one of my newest acquisitions and one of my favourites. It makes such an impression, and I'm sure you can already see it. It's the one just there. Just here, right here. And what this is a lovely parlour palm. This is a tropical rainforest plant native to South America, and it's just, look at it, it's just luscious. In the jungles of Central and South America where this plant lives, the conditions aren't quite like this, so it will be in a very hot and humid environment, and there will be a large canopy of trees above. This kind of thing doesn't love to be in the direct sunlight, hence why it's quite far from the window, and it just has its lovely little shady corner here. Now that I've got to show off my lovely sofa, let's move on. This right here, I'm going to close the windows. Ladies and gentlemen, would you believe it? The sun has come out. It is glorious. I might be overexposed now, but truly who gives a shit? Because honestly, I feel overexposed. This is my telephone table. It is very, very old. Very old. It is from the days when one would have said telephone on table, and telephone would not leave table because telephone was immobile, not mobile, not a mobile telephone. They would have their books on the side, their calculator. They'd have their Angry Birds. I don't know what they had back then. I mean, it's got a fucking drawer. Look, isn't it great? Wood, good wood, good wood. So I'm gonna start right here with this fella. This guy is called the money tree. Now, the money tree is native to Central and South America. So it's that kind of area where it's really hot and it's really wet. Anyway, this guy actually does grow up to about 60 feet in the wild. As you can see, he's got quite a thick trunk, a dense trunk, and that is essentially why it's a tree, because it's built on the trunk and branches come off and it's growing new branches. It's doing beautifully. And this thing is magnificent. It can be grown as a bonsai, as it is right now, keeping it short, trimming it when it gets too big. But I intend to grow mine because this guy has grown since I've got him. He's swollen, he's gotten taller, more shoots have come off, and I intend to grow him up to about 6 feet. That is my intention, maybe 7. We'll see how it goes. Right behind him, we've got a nice variety of Phytonias. All plants have nerve-like structures under their leaves, in like the veins where they carry their water and their nutrients. But the Phytonias are really, really pronounced. So they're called the nerve plant in common folk society. I've got 3 colours here. We've got a green, we've got a red, and we've got a pink, and they are doing really well. These plants love a lot of water because they're native to South America, Peru to be specific. So they need an awful lot of water to keep their kind of crispy nature and their colour. Next to the Phytonias, we've got a lovely bit of basil. You love basil, don't you? Put it in tomato sauce. Put it in some other tomato sauce. Put it on other tomatoes. Basil. It's great for everything. And I'm growing some here. The basil is actually native to not only South America, like these guys, but also Central Africa. I did not know that until I started growing from the seed. And a lot of these plants are grown from the seed. The smaller ones like the basil and the rocket. In this portion of the video, we're now coming to, I don't know why I'm swaying like this. We're now coming to Europe. Yeah, let's go to Europe, baby. This is a carrot. Carrot. This is actually, honestly, probably my greatest creation I've ever conceived, and I'm really fucking proud of it. It's kind of like a self-portrait in a way.
It's a carrot in a bottle of wine. As soon as I started to grow this carrot in here, firstly, it took to it very well. It's very established in there. The roots have gone straight down. And what will happen is those root systems will grow and grow and grow into the shape of the bottle. And then what happens with the carrot, the roots turn into a carrot vegetable. So we will hopefully get a carrot that is the shape and size of a bottle of wine. We've got some grass here. I have no idea where it's from. Grass comes from basically all over the world, although this doesn't really look English. It looks kind of, dare I say, African. This particular plant, he's called the pinstripe calathea. It doesn't grow from seed, it grows from the bulb. It will reduce and it will come back up, and it will reduce and it will come back up. A lot of calatheas and a lot of South American plants. I like that. So they can be purchased, they can be treated like shit. They can fall back to the bulbs, and then as soon as they're in the right conditions, they'll grow straight back up again. That is what's currently happening with this calathea. It's in a mode of dormancy because it was treated very poorly for quite a long amount of time, and it's been bleached by the sun. It's gone through drought. It's gone through overwatering. It's gone through it all. This last guy on the end is called the maidenhair fern, and this is actually one of the only plant I have that's native to North America. I quite love this guy because he has a high amount of stalks and stems and shoots, and each one of those shoots has an incomprehensible amount of leaves which branch off and branch off. So it gives the illusion that it's massive, even though you could crunch it in your fist. Coming up onto the windowsill here for the last hurrah, we have firstly this guy. This one here is a bottle of botanical cola, which I bought from Tesco. It said it was botanically brewed, and it tasted like shit. So I grew a carrot in it. This one has been up here, which is why it's smaller, okay? Because it's had more light, which basically means it doesn't need bigger leaves, and it doesn't need those leaves to reach up as high. It can just chill down low, so it doesn't have to put all of its energy into growing the leaves. It can put energy into growing the root systems, which is prolonged health. This one down here, the big boy carrot in the brown bottle, isn't getting as much light, so he grows a bit taller. We've got some propagation going on here. We've got this plant I don't know the name of, but it's got lovely deep purple leaves with these beautiful yellow flowers. My nan has one of these, I do believe, so big up Nana. I'm not too good on my herbs, okay? I bought a load of herb seeds a while ago, and I just planted them in pots and completely forgot what was what and where was where. So I just have herbs. If you can help me name them, then please fucking do it. So I've got a massive bunch of what I believe is rosemary, and we've got next to that we've got two plants propagating, which I found in the forest, and in the corner we've got one lone herby boy, and I don't quite know what this one is. It might be thyme, I'm not sure. I was just right here, and I'm about to be just right down there. See right down there? That's where I'm going to sit. Bit noisy out here, isn't it? Ever since I have loved plants, I've always wanted my own outdoor garden, right? And when I moved into this flat, I finally realised I can fucking have it. This isn't a garden. It's not close to a garden. But what it is shitty old rotten decking, of which there was a bit missing, and of which I planted about 50 litres of compost down and made my own flower bed. And what we've got now is honestly something I'm incredibly fucking proud of. And I'm going to now take you through my outdoor plants. Because these are more like vegetables and more sustainable, useful plants. So we'll start right here. This man right here, and these are all grown from seed. I grew all of these from the seed in the early spring. And this is broccoli. Broccoli is a vegetable which I used to hate as a child, and about 3 years ago I discovered it can be tender and flavourful, and now I fucking adore it. This is going to grow about this high. The flower will be the head of broccoli, And that is the plan. Moving on right here, I'll move out the way so you can see. We've got none other than 2 sweet peas. Now these guys, I planted from individual seeds and they grew into about 3 stems each. And you can see, now that it's June, we've had a bit of warm weather, these guys are actually growing peas. It might seem kind of mundane to someone that isn't me, but the fact that right here I have sweet pea plants with peas growing in the pods, and there are multiple pods and I can see each individual pea in there, that just makes me so happy. You have no idea. That is the culmination of my life right there, this food. Moving on, we have this beautiful plant which is blown up recently called coriander. This is a herb otherwise known as cilantro in the US. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it, and I recently learned that it's actually a genetic predisposition that tells you if you like coriander or not, so it's in your DNA if you like it. I personally love it, hence why I'm growing my own. There's this one central stalk which I actually only noticed today. It seems to have blown up very quickly, which is going to be the main head of the plant, and all of this will slowly die back over the next few months as the coriander expands. This one here, now I first noticed this plant in the edge of one of my plant pots quite a while ago, and I had to use the plant app to find out what it was, because I could not figure out for the life of me what it was. I thought it might be lavender, but I thought no, my lavender seeds didn't ever germinate, they weren't good seeds. But I found on here, I took a picture of it, put it on the app, it's called a goosefoot. I've got a fucking goosefoot. I don't know what that means. What we've got here is kind of the large section of the vegetable patch. Here we've got the biggest sweet pea plant I've ever seen in my fucking life, and I cannot believe that I grew it. I planted these 3 sweet peas way after I planted these, hence why these have actually produced crop and these yet haven't, but these are flowering, so they will. Out of each of these flowers will become a pod of sweet peas, and they're just doing so well. They're growing like a forest, and it's blowing my mind. Right behind, directly behind, we have a bushy collection of plants, which I did not know what they were. I assumed they were some kind of lettuce, but then they kind of grew like tall-stemmed, small-leaf plants. And I was like, this is not lettuce. I put it in the plant app, bed straws. They're called bed straws. I personally don't believe in weeds. I mean, if a plant is there, if these bed straws like it here, who am I to say they're not to live here? And the sweet peas don't mind. They don't care about the bed straws. They do not give a shit. And maybe the fact that the bed straws are there is why these are even bigger. Many people would remove them, but I just don't believe in that absolute carnage. Proof that the bed straws are favoured is this collection of lettuce I have over here. This was about 50 lettuce seeds, and if you look closely, you'll find it's actually so incredibly dense that you can just go in there and pick out so much leaf. Now, I keep this watered. It needs a lot of water to stay crunchy and to stay full of colour and flavour. We have these variety, which is my favourite. I don't know what they're called, but they're the kind of light green spiky ones. Next to it we have the darker purpley kind of big leaves, and we have the light green big leaves, and these are all absolutely beautifully tasting and ready to eat. I mean, this one here, for example, this is just, I don't know the type of lettuce this is, but it's the spiky one. And let me just bite into it. I'm not going to chew it, but let me bite into it so you can hear the crunch. Did you hear that? Like, fucking mental, right? Up there, at the top of the frame, you can see some beige pods, can't you? Yeah. Shall we go have a look? The first box we have here on our right is full of none other than broccoli and 2 baby carrots. These ones will only grow down to about here because carrots naturally grow to the the size of their container, like my bottle inside. So they will be lovely stubby little carrots. Don't know how the broccoli's going to do. It's doing okay so far, but we'll see how that goes. This one here, this is my PS. I don't speak French, but it's very much a piece of resistance, in my opinion. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 established carrots. What I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that I love carrots. Over here, we have one more box. Now, I'm not going to bring you over here, but I'm pretty sure you can see me. Hello. We have basil, just like inside, and we have coriander, just like down there, except this coriander is not doing remotely as well as this one. I'm caught on a plant. This has been Plant Tour with Craig Baker. Thank you so much for watching.